Service for Lauderdale County and also Mississippi County in East Arkansas. And folks, this is a big deal. We have been watching the weather all afternoon, and now we actually have a storm that could be producing a tornado. Here's the latest track. So what are we tracking? This right here, which is a tornado warned storm. Here's Memphis right here, and this is the track. Gilt Edge at 5:07, Burleson at 5:09, Garland at 5:09, Henning at 5:20, and Covington. You are also in the path of this storm. These are moving quick now at about 5:20 and Ripley at 5:22. Now, what do you need to do if I just called out your town? You need to go to your safe spot immediately because the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning until 5:30 this afternoon, and that does include the eastern part of Mississippi County. It does look like it will remain south of you, Blytheville, but Luxora, you are directly in the path of this storm, and you need to go to your safe spot immediately. If you are in West Tennessee, say in Ripley, Henning, or Covington, and you live in a mobile home, you need to go to a sturdy structure if you can. You do have time, but not a lot. So if you have a sturdy structure within 10 minutes of where you live, go to it now because mobile homes are not the place to be. Again, this is a tornado warning until 5:30 for Lauderdale County, Tennessee, Mississippi County, and eastern Arkansas, and these are the towns in the path of the storm. Folks, this is a serious situation. Now, let me show you where Memphis is in relation to all this because there's activity coming our way too. There is a severe thunderstorm that is now working into East Arkansas, and this one could produce a tornado at any point. So that is going to be impacting the metro area, I would say within the next half hour or so. Be ready now. The threats with this, well, we have all types of threats. Tornado is a possibility, high winds, heavy rain, and even hail. We have had numerous reports of hail in Arkansas. So really, we've got all threats that are possible, and this is the one we're focused on the most because an active tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. This is going to go until 5:30 this afternoon. Osceola, you're in the path of this. Luxora, you guys need to go to your safe spot immediately. This is a serious situation, and you want to make sure that you are safe. And the best thing to do to stay safe is to go on the very first floor of your home. If you are living in an apartment, you need to try to get down to the lowest level. If you're in this warning, this tornado warning, you need to go to the first floor of where you are living and not at the top. If you're up 5, 6 stories, you need to go down and you need to do it immediately if you are in these towns. Again, tornado warning just issued by the National Weather Service goes until 5 o'clock for all those towns that you see involved here. And there is another storm we're concerned with over Forest City right now. It too has high winds. No tornado warning right now, but a severe thunderstorm warning. And as we have seen this afternoon, these things can go tornado quickly. And the problem is there's a lot of sunshine, or there has been at times out there this afternoon, and that has added energy to the atmosphere, and we are really at prime time heating right now, so all the ingredients are here. This is where the storm is now, just west of Luxora. It is moving east, and the main threat with this is a tornado. Here's Ripley, Henning, Covington. You may be just south of this, but it's so close, you need to take it seriously, and you need to go to your safe spot as well. These things are starting to pick up speed and momentum, and will continue to do so as we're about to go through a 30 to easily 35-degree temperature drop by tomorrow morning. So you've got clashing of the air masses. We have storms. We have a situation out there this afternoon. We're not trying to scare you unnecessarily, but we are telling you to take this seriously as the ingredients are ripe. I am going to toss it over to my colleague right now, Trevor Burchett. Trevor, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? Anything from the Weather Service? Take it away.
Hey there, John. Just an update from the National Weather Service. They are indicating that rotation likely going to pass just to the south of Osceola. So Osceola, it is a close call for you. Obviously, we don't know if this is a tornado on the ground at this moment, but there's surely some signatures of rotation there. So Osceola, we still need you in your tornado safe place, but it does look like that the area of rotation is going to pass just to the south of you. Crossing the river, though, Keys Point, Gold Dust, communities like that, those are the areas that will be impacted once this thing crosses into Tennessee. If you are in this tornado warning right now, if you're in places like Osceola, Luxora, even over to Ripley and Henning, Tennessee, you're included in this. Here's what you need to do. Go to the lowest floor of the building you're currently in. Don't try to drive anywhere. If you're driving right now, you've got to find a place to stop. Find the lowest floor you can get to in that building. If it's a basement, that's great. A lot of folks don't have basements around here, so just get to the lowest floor you can, and you're looking for an interior room, bathroom, closet, anything like that. Go ahead and slip on your shoes, cover your head if you can. Pots and pans, helmets are great. And of course, stay away from windows. And like I said, if you're in a car or a mobile home, you've got to find a better shelter. Just as an idea for your home, again, we want to find the most interior room. Most folks, that's going to be a bathroom or a closet. So that is the best place for you to go. Again, just an interior room away from windows. That's going to be for places like Osceola, Henning, Ripley in Tennessee. As this storm crosses the Mississippi River, tornado warning continues for Mississippi County and Lauderdale counties in Tennessee until 5:30, John. So we're going to be watching this thing gradually over the next couple of minutes. We've got some storm chasers up there, so we're going to check in with them in just a little bit. But for right now, John, I'm going to send things back over to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Trevor. And let me say this. We do have reports of wind damage in Pulaski County, Arkansas. So these storms do have a history of damage, wind damage that is. And as Trevor was saying, this is right now a radar indicated tornado. I am going to see just quickly, I want to look at some of our velocity products just to see if we do have any rotation. And there is some rotation in here southeast of Osceola, Luxora. You see the storm track here that I've got. Gilt Edge at 507, Burleson. You got to go to your safe spot now, folks. Listen to us. It is a serious situation. Garland at 509, Covington. You are in the path of this storm as well. You're close enough that you need to go to your safe spot. You still have time. You still have about 15 minutes, so make sure that you do that. Also, another thing to point out, and for everybody watching in the Memphis metro area, a storm is headed our way too. You need to call your friends and family and tell them what's going on, because a lot of people, the sun is out, they're thinking, oh, it's the weekend, oh, I can't wait, I'm off work, everything's great. No, not until this line of storms pass the area. So it's not just this area right here. Look at this line back to the west that we have near Forest City, Arkansas, Wynne, Arkansas. All that is headed east. So it is going to be coming toward the Memphis metro area. That's why I say call your kids, call your friends and family, because they may not know that a storm is coming. And even if that's not a tornado warned storm, there is plenty of energy out there, and we do not see these things just going away and dying. Now, they are going to sweep through rapidly. That's the good news. Well, a little bit of good news anyway. They are going to sweep through quickly, but they are going to be packing a punch when they do. And if you're not prepared, this could be a dangerous situation, even if it's not a tornado warning. You're going to get heavy rain. We have all kinds of threats. People are wondering, well, what should I expect? Expect heavy rain, expect high winds, expect some hail, at least the possibility of that, and perhaps a tornado. The area that I'm zoomed in right now on is where the potential tornado would or could be. So far, radar indicated, but we do have spotters out there, and so we'll be, checking in with them in a moment. But right now, guys, let's stay on the storm, on the radar. I want to give you an updated track here. There's Osceola, Arkansas, Luxora, Arkansas. If there is a tornado, it's probably going to be right in here. So let me step off the screen so you can see a little bit further. Here's Garland right there, and this is Highway 51 right here. So it's about 10 to 15 minutes away from Highway 51. And as we come out to a wide view, you can see what's behind it on its heels. There are additional storms around Forest City, Arkansas right now. Let me zoom into this, because this is what is coming to the Memphis metro area. And really, it's not going to be that long. These are moving east at about 55 miles per hour. Forest City, you're about to get dumped on, high winds. And let me also point this out. At any point, this could go or turn into a tornado-warned storm. Not the case right now. That's the good news. As I look at all these different angles here with our technology, it does appear to me that there could be a little bit of notching going on. What does that mean? Well, it means what we're looking for is a hook echo. So if it starts to do more of a hook, a comma-like shape, if you will, then that's when we're really going to start to become concerned. But Forest City, you're not out of the woods. You're not under a tornado warning right now. So let me go back up to this tornado warned storm. I'm keeping the track on here for you. It is updating in real time. And Trevor, I'm going to toss it back over to you because I'm going to step off screen and check in with the Weather Service real quick, see if there's any new information. Trevor?
Gotcha. Yeah, something I was just looking at here, again, as John said, we have no confirmed reports that this is a tornado on the ground right now. That's some fantastic news, but there's still enough of a signature in here that it could produce a tornado at any minute. What we don't want you to do right now is go outside and try to get a look at this thing. There's so much rain falling right now. If you're in Osceola, you know it is pouring buckets, so you're not going to be able to see a tornado. This is not your picture-perfect viral social media moment. Don't waste your time trying to go outside and get a view of this thing. And I do want to tell you, even if this thing does not end up producing a tornado, obviously we hope it does not, there is still a lot of wind in here. This is a very mean storm. Take a look at this. This is just to the south of Osceola, where those brighter colors are. That is some very, very intense wind. We're talking wind gusts at the surface, 55 to 60 miles an hour. Hey, John.
For just a second. And folks in the booth, if you could, we've got a chaser on this storm, and it is, if you can see it in there, our storm chaser on this one is Chris Conley, and let's take his image right now, because it paints a picture of what is going on. And he is, let me tell you the location of where he is right now. Guys, can you take the other one? Let's take the other one, who is just north of Covington, which is where the tornado, if you can click on, refresh the link in there, you can click back on the link. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back out. But we do have a storm spotter that is near this warned storm right now and giving us a visual of a possible tornado trying to come down to the ground. We're working on that. We'll get you the visual in a moment. But in the meantime, you guys really need to take this seriously. Osceola, it looks like the worst of the storm is now passing you. And it does look like Ripley, you're in the direct path of this. Let me show you where our storm spotter is. He's just to the north of Covington right here. So he is actually going to be in, well, the perfect place for a storm spotter, but not for somebody who is, please don't try to go outside. And we're using professionals here, as Trevor just mentioned a moment ago. Safety is most important. And tell people that can't watch us right now to download our app, ABC24, because should you lose power, you can watch us on your app through your mobile data. And I would say that folks are going to lose power that are in the path of this storm. So our storm spotter is right here, just north of Covington. And when I was looking at it just a moment ago, it did look like a tornado was trying to form. Again, Lauderdale County until 5:30, so you've got another 20 minutes of this tornado warning, and this storm could be getting worse. I am seeing more of a hook right down here, and that's, I believe, the area that he was looking at, so we'll get you that. Here's hitting right here, Ripley. So what is it? A tornado warned storm. That is the main threat. Still radar indicated, but we're working to get any visuals, and of course, if we do, we'll bring you that information immediately. But you have to be in your safe spot. Even though this tornado warning doesn't technically extend down into Garland and Gilt Edge, you guys need to assume that it could still go over you, because look, here's the back edge of the storm where the tornado is most likely. That's going to move east, and it could move over your house. Now, we're not trying to scare you unnecessarily. This is an active tornado warning. If you're just joining us, that's why we're on the air for a tornado-warned storm crossing the Mississippi River right now. As far as metropolitan Memphis is concerned, there's a threat. as well. There is another storm back in Arkansas it's over Forest City right now, and this too is pulling to the east. So Metro Memphis, not out of the woods. This warned storm is going to affect metropolitan Memphis within the next half hour to an hour or so. Guys, yeah, whenever you can get that storm chaser back up, that's fine. Go ahead and take it, and we'll roll with the punches here. Be prepared to lose power if you are in Ripley, Covington, even Munford. The weaker part of the storm is actually you're on the good side, so it's just north of Munford, but it is moving east at 55. So. Okay, so Lauderdale County, Ripley, Covington, you have to go to your safe spot now. The best place to be is on the first floor of a structure. If you live in an apartment complex, go downstairs, go to the lobby. If you have friends that live downstairs, you want to get as low as possible. You also want to cover your head. That's the number one thing that happens in tornadoes. If people get injured or even unfortunately killed, is injuries to the head. So protect your head. Even if you have a bicycle helmet, a football helmet, anything to protect your head, whether it be a mattress, anything that will block debris from coming into your home and just block your head from that. Also, make sure you have your ID just in case you need to get back into your home. Have your shoes on as well. That's another thing that goes unmentioned sometimes. So have your shoes on. But Henning and Ripley, you guys are in the direct path of this storm, and you've only got about another 10 minutes or so. Here's Gilt Edge right here. This is the Mississippi River. So just for perspective, that's where we are, Brighton, Tennessee. And again, we'll go back to a wide view here just to give everybody a perspective that there are other warnings, but our main focus right now is that tornado-warned storm that is moving across the Mississippi River right now. I do want to zoom into this storm here, this Forest City storm, because it is severe, and this is pushing toward metropolitan Memphis. I mean, we're talking in between 5:45, 7 o'clock, something like that. If you live downtown, it's going to be across your area earlier. And if you live out east, it's going to be probably after 6 o'clock. So that's the timing. Now, the main threat with this right here now, high winds. So that is the main threat, but this could produce a tornado at any moment as well. So we have to be on guard for that. Trevor.
Just wanted to let you know, speaking of that storm, National Weather Service says they're noticing lightning trending up a little bit. And that's typically something that we look for a storm to intensify. So to go along with what John was saying, right now there's not a tornado threat with that storm that's moving into Forest City. That's the storm that will eventually move into Memphis. Right now there's not a tornado warning on it, but the lightning is increasing. That shows that the storm is trying to strengthen just a little bit. So we're going to have to watch that one carefully. But again, if you're just joining us, the only tornado warning we have right now is for Mississippi County, Lauderdale County, and the extreme northern portion of Tipton County. This does not include Covington. It includes maybe a mile or two of the extreme northern sliver of Tipton County. But the National Weather Service still indicating some signatures of rotation near Luxora and moving into Ashport over the next little bit. So if we could switch over to the shear rate product, you can see kind of where that rotation tends to be. And again, it's more to the south of Ashport. And I think if we could take this full, you might get a little bit of a better idea of where this is. Again, you see there to the south of Gold Dust. This is now looking like it's crossed over the Mississippi River. Again, if we can take this full, guys, back in the back, just so we can get a little bit of a better idea. Now, over the Mississippi River, so it looks like Osceola, this storm, at least the tornado-warned part of it, the rotation part of it, has passed Osceola and is now into Lauderdale County. So Ashport, you've got to be in your tornado-safe place. And as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put a storm track on this. What I'm going to track, though, is where the rotation is. So this is not the time it's going to start raining. This is the time that a potential tornado could be in your area. So, John, you said this moving, what have you been doing at 50, 45, 50?
Yeah, about 50 miles an hour.
Okay, so we're going to track this off to the north and east, about 50 miles an hour. And this will just kind of give you an idea of some of those smaller communities that could be impacted. So Ashport, we mentioned, in about 3 minutes. Fort Pillow State Park, 5 minutes to you. Again, it's already raining in some of these spots, but these are the areas where the rotation is going to be. Olive Branch, if you're seeing that, I want to let you know that's not the Olive Branch in Mississippi. That's the Olive Branch community of Lauderdale County. So I don't want you folks down in DeSoto County to get worried. That is not you. And then Lightfoot in about 12 minutes as this storm continues to move off to the east. So again, as I mentioned, even if there is not a tornado in this, which there are still interesting signs in here to say the least. And when I say interesting, I mean that there are some signs of rotation within the storm. So interesting in the way of a potential tornado, looking like it's crossing the Mississippi River near the Fulton community of Lauderdale County, and that would take it up near Fort Pillow here in just a little bit. So again, tornado warning continues for Mississippi County, Lauderdale County, and Tipton County until 5:30. Send things back over to Chief Meteorologist John Bryant. He's going to get a little more in depth with where that more southern storm is going, because it's coming right for us in Memphis, John.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to forget about this one either, because this is going to be affecting a lot of people. And what we're trying to do is give you lead time. If you're just joining us, it's an active weather day in the Mid-South, and things are going to get worse before they get better for areas east of this line. So I wanted to let you know, if you're in Metro Memphis or these towns I'm about to call out, you need to pay attention to the weather and stay right here with us. Download our app, ABC 24. Should you lose power, you can keep watching us. We'll stream. We're on the web as well, abc24.com. So here's a track with this southern storm. Madison at 521. This is in Arkansas now. Hughes at 542. Edmondson, it's all this is near the Horseshoe Lake area. So if you know where Horseshoe Lake is, it is heading in your direction. The main threat with you right now is high wind. We don't have a tornado warning with this storm, but high winds are the main impact. Also hail. There has been hail reported in Arkansas. There has been wind damage reported in Arkansas. So this is headed your way. If you're in the towns I'm calling out, Sunset at 555, West Memphis at 556. If you were thinking about going into West Memphis tonight to go to Southland Park, I would not do it right now. I would wait. I would hold off. Let this line pass because it's nasty. Marion, 556. Again, high winds for the towns I'm calling out. West Memphis at 556. Southland Park, there it is. Was just talking about it, 557. And Walls, Mississippi in DeSoto County at 603. So that is where this line is headed. Right now, the main threat is high wind and hail. Keep in mind, some of these cells could produce a tornado as well. We hope that doesn't happen, but it's possible. Let's go back out to our, all right, let's go back out to our chaser right now. And this is near Covington right now. So what you're seeing is not a tornado. Those are some low clouds, but as I look at it, I'm trying to see if it's a rotating cloud. It's not coming to the ground. So that is not a tornado right now, but it does look like it's possible it could produce one. So we don't have confirmation that one is on the ground. We do have eyes on the ground, as you can see in real time. So if we get any information, by the way, this is near Covington, Tennessee. If we do get any information or any spotting of one, we will most certainly bring you that. That is one of the greatest tools that we have here at ABC Local 24 and also CW30 News right now, is the ability to take this video and show you what it looks like out there right now. Again, we have two storm chasers on this storm looking for the possibility of a tornado. Thank goodness right now we don't see one, but it is a rotating cloud though. I'm starting to see that cloud rotating, so something we have to watch closely.
And John, they've actually let that tornado warning go, so they have indicated some signs that that's weakening a little bit. So tornado warning has been canceled now. Severe thunderstorm warning continues, and they've notated in their warning that is a severe thunderstorm warning that a tornado is still possible in. So we don't want you to let your guard down, but at least as of right now, tornado warning has been canceled for Mississippi and Lauderdale counties. Of course, we're still watching these two very strong storms, so still a tornado potential, definitely damaging winds, definitely hail. But as of right now, no tornado warning in effect for the ABC 24 area.
All right, so this is what we need to do. Trevor and I, we're not going anywhere. We're staying right here on ABC. On CW30, let's go back to regular programming and send our viewers back to programming. If another tornado warning is issued for any of our counties, we will cut back into CW30. But for right now, hang on, ABC, we're staying here. But for right now, we're going to take our viewers on CW30 back to regular programming. And we are going to continue our coverage here on ABC until this threat of severe storms comes across the Mississippi River, because it's moving rapidly, and we have seen signs of some wind damage in Arkansas. That is confirmed. I can tell you we have confirmed wind damage in Arkansas in Pulaski County, and it's from this storm right here that I'm tracking. So this does have the potential for high winds. Thank goodness Trevor had that great report just a moment ago that the tornado warning is canceled. So there are no active tornado warnings in our coverage area right now. That is the good news. The bad news is we still have a line of powerful severe storms headed right for the Memphis metro area. We are on the air giving you lead time right now that it's time to take action. And the action is call your kids, call your friends that might be running around town or headed down I-55, headed toward Oxford, Mississippi. Let them know that a line of strong storms, with the main threat being high winds over 50 miles per hour, could even be up to 60 or 70 miles per hour, is coming. And it's back in Arkansas, and there is time, but people need to go where they're going to go and stay there until this line passes. We want to keep everybody safe. It's the most important thing we do here at ABC Local 24. Your safety is most important. That's why we're on the air. In fact, we've been here, Trevor and I, since last night, early this morning. Trevor was here early this morning, so we have been watching it for a long time. We've been watching this system, and we knew it was coming. Now it's here. The question is just how bad is it going to be, and we hope we can get through this unscathed. One thing I will tell you is that you need to be prepared to lose power. We'll be checking in with some of the outage maps. You know what? It'd be awesome if this weakened and just went kapoof, but I don't see that happening right now. It will be interesting to see what does happen with this severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 5:30, so another 7 minutes. It will be interesting to see if the National Weather Service actually extends it further to Hughes and Edmonson and eventually Shelby County. I would think we would know within the next 6 to 7 minutes if this warning is going to be extended into Shelby County. We'll know that pretty quickly. Here's the latest track, an update for you. Horseshoe Lake, again, the storm for high winds. If I call your town out, that means high winds are expected, hail, definitely heavy rain. So those are the threats. Here we go. Sunset at 5:55, Arkansas that is. Marion at 5:56, West Memphis at 5:56, Southland Park. See, we're giving you lead time. You do have time to prepare here. Southland Park at 5:57, Walls at 6:03. Downtown Memphis at 6:04. Mud Island, Harbortown, these storms are going to be over your area in just a little bit over half an hour. So we're giving you a heads up now. They're coming. Right now they are strong. They are severe. Let's hope they weaken. But we still have sunset. The sun is still up. And until it goes down, and even after it does, there's so much energy and so much wind out there that these storms aren't just going to die. It's a powerful cold front coming through, and when you're talking about a 30 to 35 degree temperature drop in October, when we've got summer-like humidity out there, that is fueling these storms and creating problems. And Trevor, look at this. This looks to be a pretty good hail core just southwest of Forest City. What are you seeing on that right now?
You know, I was just looking at that. It even looked a little bit stronger a couple of scans ago, but as you mentioned, there's no tornado threat right now, but still very, very strong signatures of damaging winds and large hail. Just to give you an idea, let's switch over to our hail product on the radar. You see where the purples are in the radar? That's where the hail most likely is. But when we switch over to this product, it's going to isolate it just a little bit. So you see that purple spot there in southwestern St. Francis County? That's the area that is showing some more signatures of larger hail. That's to the south of Palestine, moving to the northeast. So Forest City, more than likely, you're going to see just a little bit of hail as this storm moves off to the northeast. Again, there is no tornado warning currently for any of these storms anywhere in the Mid-South. But as you can see, I'm just going to zoom out and kind of give you just a wide view of the area. 2 storms right now are severe. One of those has been in Lauderdale County. So heads up Ripley, damaging wind gusts, large hail a possibility. And so we're really thinking that the tornado threat has diminished a little bit with that. But again, going into Ripley, heads up to you. If you have a carport or a garage, I might recommend making a dash outside and pulling it in if you can, because there's definitely a chance of some hail with these storms. And again, even more so with that storm back in St. Francis County as it moves off to the east. I do want to let you know that it looks like they have, let's see what they've done here. They're going to let that severe thunderstorm warning go for Tipton and Lauderdale counties. That's with that storm moving into Ripley. So it's still showing some pretty good signatures of weakening, but it is still packing a punch. It's going to be some gusty winds, heavy rain, some hail, lots of lightning. And of course, you know, anytime the wind blows around here, we could get some power outages. So Ripley, heads up to you. Henning, Covington, just to the north of Munford, you're going to get in on some of this here. But I think really the storm we're really going to have to watch is what's coming through Forest City right now, and it's moving off to the east, anywhere from 45 to 50 miles an hour. And of course, it's not that far from Memphis. So if this thing continues to move right off to the due east, that's going to put it into Memphis in no time. So let's do a storm track on this, and then John, I'll get right back over to you. Just to give you an idea of where this thing is going, that would put it into West Memphis in about 34 minutes. Downtown Memphis in the next 45 minutes. That's about 6:15 p.m. So we're going to run into the same situation where we had the storms in the morning commute. We're going to have the storms in the evening commute. So if your boss will let you leave now in Memphis, I might consider that, because the roads are likely going to be a mess by about 6 p.m. into 6:30 as the storm continues to move off to the east. Again, damaging winds and hail, the biggest concern with this, but still can't rule out a quick, brief tornado, John.
You know, excellent point, Trevor. As far as leaving early, wherever you are, if you have time to get to a safe spot. Of course, it is rush hour, so it is not fun to be driving on a Friday afternoon. It is okay right now to get out in Shelby County and get to your safe spot. It is going to be very interesting. Let's go back to Trevor's his source for a minute, because he had that track up, and if you can, David. But this is going to be moving towards Shelby County. The question is just how much intensity is it going to have once it gets here? That's what we're watching. Also, not just Shelby County, DeSoto County, Crittenden County. It will be interesting to see what the Weather Service is going to do as far as, do they allow this to expire, which is going to be interesting, which would be a good thing, obviously. But this is just south of Forest City right now. Still a decent hail core as far as winds go. We can check on that as well and see what the winds are looking like and seeing how high they are. But right now, we don't have any confirmed wind damage in the ABC 24 coverage area. But we are going to stay with you to see what this warning does. Of course, World News Tonight is coming up. But guys, I don't want to go there just yet. We'll get there if they don't issue any more warnings. But I'm just a little bit concerned, not ready to go off the air yet. With this storm barreling down into a highly populated area. We've already had one tornado warning today. We have had several severe thunderstorm warnings. There has been damage in Arkansas and Pulaski County, wind damage, and also reports of some pretty large hail as well. So this line does have a history of producing wind damage. This is not just a pop-up thunderstorm. You've got fall and summer colliding right now, and you get this. We are in our secondary severe weather season, and they have allowed that to expire. It doesn't look like right now they are going to reissue, but we'll stay with you here another couple of minutes, and then we'll go back to programming if they don't issue another warning. But I'm not ready just yet to go off the air because this is barreling down on the metro area right now and going to affect a lot of people on a Friday afternoon, a lot of people outside moving around, and so we're just making sure that you are safe, and we want you to remain safe throughout this entire event. And just know this, We're going to be continuously watching this, and if there's another warning, we'll definitely be back on. Trevor, I'm going to toss back over to you one more time, check in with the Weather Service just to see what their thinking is before we decide exactly what to do.
You know what, John? I think we might have to end up staying with this. Weather Service is saying that radar suggests up to an inch diameter hail with that storm in St. Francis County, right along the Lee County line. And the criteria for there to be a severe thunderstorm warning is 1 inch hail. So if the Weather Service is confident enough that that storm is producing 1 inch hail, they might pull that warning back out, and it might include the city of Memphis, and at that point we would stay with you. At this point, not a tornado warning. It looks like it would be a severe thunderstorm warning. Those are issued for damaging winds and hail, not for a tornado. Without getting too technical here, there is an interesting feature that I'm noticing. There's a little line on the radar, and there we go. There's the severe thunderstorm warning. John, I'll send things back to you, and you can get the lowdown on that new warning. But Memphis now in a severe thunderstorm warning.
And we'll talk about who this affects. Right now, I've got a brand new report. This is out of Pulaski County. I mean, literally, this just came in about a minute ago. There are some folks in that area, Pulaski County, where damage was found in northeast Pulaski County. A short F0, this is coming from the National Weather Service, by the way, tornado path found, details to follow. So that's Pulaski County, Arkansas, just outside our coverage area. But apparently, this is coming from the National Weather Service. In Pulaski County, there has been a confirmed tornado, and this is the same line that is coming through right now. That's why we did not want to go off the air, and we wanted to make absolutely sure that the threat was winding down, but as you can see, it's not. So we'll be here with you and for you as this severe thunderstorm now is really bearing down on Forest City, now moving to your east. So we're talking about DeSoto County, South Haven, high impacts from this. Power outages are possible. This is where the storm is right now, Forest City, Arkansas. This is where it's going. It's going toward South Haven, toward Walls, Mississippi, Whitehaven in Shelby County, and just to the north of Tunica. What can you expect? You can expect heavy rain. You can expect high winds and possible hail. But the biggest threat to us right now is high winds. That can cause power outages, and you don't want to be driving in 55-mile-per-hour winds. And now we have a confirmed report of a tornado in Pulaski County that apparently touched down briefly, and that is coming to us from the National Weather Service. So, I mean, that's a good source, I would say. But this cell right here, it does look like hail is a threat with this around Forest City. Here is the rest of the metro area right now. And Trevor, this is really interesting here because it looks like there is an outflow boundary from these storms right here. In other words, thunderstorm winds coming from this storm, and we'll see what happens if that outflow boundary meets up with this. Sometimes that could be a collision course for high winds, and that would be near downtown Memphis, probably just south of downtown Memphis. But DeSoto County, I'm becoming more concerned about you guys because of this. In fact, I can draw it out for you. What is an outflow boundary? It is a line that is out of the main storm of high wind, and the radar can actually detect that. It may not be raining in these areas, but this is where the high winds are coming in. And so even if it's not severe, downtown Memphis, you're going to get some high wind gusts from this part here as it travels southeast. So very interesting on that outflow boundary, and that could be why this warning is drawn to the southeast as well. So we'll see what happens over western DeSoto County, but South Haven, Hernando, Walls, Mississippi, even Olive Branch, you guys really need to stay with us and pay attention as this is headed in your direction, and it could have a big impact as far as heavy rain, high winds, and power outages. Download our app, ABC Local 24, and that will give you information should you lose power. Charge your phones up. There you go, right there. It'll give you instant notifications no matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you have Apple or Android. You can download it on the Google Play Store and the App Store. It's completely free, and it's pretty cool, I might add. And we will give you updates from our storm team on that when there is threatening weather for your area. So to recap of what is going on, storms are about to move into Metro Memphis. The worst of it is going to be in DeSoto County. That is where we are most concerned, although I will say there's going to be some gusty winds in Shelby County right now. It does appear that the winds are undercutting the main storms. What does that mean? Well, it actually means that the storm itself might be weakening. So up here, Earl, Millington, we may be seeing a weakening of that part, but this part is still strengthening and maintaining its intensity, momentum, and still the possibility for some downed trees, power outages, that kind of thing. And you do have a heads up here as it's not even to the Mississippi River yet, at least the part of the warned storm. So call your friends, family, kids, because it may look pretty outside, and it has at times today, but that's not a good thing. In fact, we've been talking about that throughout the day. We don't want to see sunshine on a day like this when there's such, cold meeting warm air, to keep it as simple as possible. They're fighting it out. Fall's going to win, but before it does, we've been talking about this for a few days as well. There's going to be a price to be paid. Well, this is the price right now, storms. And like I said, we've had confirmation now of at least a brief tornado in Arkansas in Pulaski County. So that's some new information. That came down about 7 minutes ago. Okay, let's take that camera right now. We also have a spotter network out there. I'm walking over to my computer. I want to see exactly where he is. Lauren, you said this is our storm spotter Vince. Okay, it appears, no, it's going to be just, it looks like Vince is on on Highway 51 in between Asbury and Ripley. So that is where he is right now. Again, to clarify, there are no active tornado warnings at the moment, but this gives you a picture of what's coming through, folks. Even if there's not a tornado warning, I mean, visibility is down very low, and sheets of rain coming down right now. Again, this is near Ripley, Tennessee, and if it hasn't rained where you are yet, that is what it may look like in downtown Memphis, especially DeSoto County, in the not too distant future. Let's stay with this camera for a minute because sometimes tornadoes can be rain wrapped, and that can, now, don't get me wrong, there is not a tornado warning out there right now, but sometimes tornadoes can become rain wrapped and hard to see. So please don't jeopardize your safety. We don't want you doing that, but we do want you, this is a good visual to show everybody what is coming to the warned area as I put a new track on this right now of the warned storm. And thank you, Lauren, for that, for giving us a picture. We got a couple of storm spotters out there this afternoon trying to see if they can find tornadoes. Let me say this too: these guys and gals are trained. Let's come back out to yeah, exactly. But let me say this: these people are trained and know what they're doing. We're not asking you to go out and do what they're doing. They have gone through classes. They go out in the Great Plains and chase big tornadoes, hurricanes. They're trained. So please don't go do that. Those are not viewers. They're trained storm spotters. Okay, so what I've done now is put a new track on the warned storm that is about to affect a good bit of DeSoto County with high winds. Here is a storm right now, just east of Forest City. What can you expect? High winds. Where is it going? Well, here we go. Horseshoe Lake at 5:56. Walls at 6:03. The Lander Center at 6:13. So again, you've got lead time here. And South Haven at 6:13. Snowden Grove 6:17. Hernando at 6:18. Again, the main and most likely threat is going to be high winds in excess of 50 miles per hour. Also Pleasant Hill at 6:20. And so we are going to have a threat of severe weather for the Memphis metro area, especially DeSoto County, at least through, I would say, 6:30. Maybe, perhaps, excuse me, after 6:30, the main threats for the Memphis metro area will be over. And actually, that's what we've been talking about for several days as far as timing goes of when these storms are going to be out of here. So if you are wondering, downtown Memphis, it will be out of your area first. Well, actually, Crittenden County, Arkansas. This is, I believe, the only active warning we have right now, and it is a severe thunderstorm warning. And all the towns right here, there's your track and times of where it is going. We have already had a confirmed report of a tornado in Pulaski County, Arkansas, that came from the National Weather Service. So that is about as official as you can get. As far as reports go. Here's Hughes. Horseshoe Lake is right here. Love going to Horseshoe Lake. Got a lot. Love my friends in Horseshoe Lake. So you guys need to know a storm is headed your way with high winds. And so just make sure that you go ahead and get to your safe spot now, because it is coming. And the famous gas station there in Hughes, Arkansas, you guys, look, if you're too far away to go back to your house and you're a long way away, stay there if it's open. So the main gas station in Horseshoe Lake, Hughes, Arkansas, stay there until the storm passes to make sure you are safe. Obviously, you don't want to be getting out on the water or getting your boat out. Not a good time to do that at all. Wait till tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow. A little chilly, though. Have your jacket because we're going down into the 40s tonight. But not before that. We have to get through this severe weather. I do believe this line has weakened a great deal up around Millington and Marion, because it looks like the cooler air is rushing out ahead of the storm itself. And when that happens, storms seem to weaken. Normally they do. And I think that's what's going on right now up there in northern Shelby County and also northern parts of our area. Let's go back up here. Even this activity is looking not quite as bad as it was. Ripley, though, still gusty winds. That's where our storm chaser was just a moment ago. As a matter of fact, he was right here along Highway 51. Go ahead and take it, Lauren. If it's sometimes the cameras freeze because the weather's so bad, but that is where our storm spotter was, right in the middle of this storm right here. It's not severe, but hey, look, this weather is going to be disruptive, regardless of whether or not it is going to be technically a severe storm. It's disruptive, and at a time when a lot of people are out and about moving around. It's rush hour. It's the weekend. Hang in there. Once we get this line passed, we are done. And we're done for, Trevor, it's going to be nice, about a week once we get all this out of here. I'm going to toss back over to you and see if I can be back in touch with our storm chasers and the National Weather Service.
Yeah, go for it. I want to get you a view right now. If we can go ahead and take this full, guys, I'm going to kind of mess around with the radar just a little bit. This is a view from I-40 at College Boulevard. This is in West Memphis, just to the west of West Memphis. And you see those darkening clouds. That's not the storm coming in. That's actually that outflow boundary we were telling you about, where that gust front comes out of the storms. John was telling you about that just a little bit ago. But that is just right ahead of those storms as they continue to move off to the east. Give me just a second. I'll switch back over to the radar here so I can interact with it just a little bit, because we have some new information from the National Weather Service. They're telling us that there's actually an increasing tornado potential in North Mississippi and portions of West Tennessee, and a tornado watch might be needed for those areas in the next little bit. We can go ahead and come back on camera now, guys. Thank you so much. And I think it's mainly going to be for this storm as it continues to move to the east. If you know, we were outside earlier, the sun came out. It was muggy, it was humid, it was very warm, and that's the energy that the storms need to fuel. So as this storm continues, the storm that's in Forest City in Arkansas right now in Mariana, as it continues to move to the east, it's going to get into a much more favorable environment. And really all of these storms are. When I say favorable, I basically mean good for tornado development. That's not to say we're going to have several tornadoes today. It's just a little bit of a better environment than what was back in Arkansas. And as John told you, we had a tornado in Arkansas earlier back in Pulaski County. So a little more energy here could easily produce another tornado. So long story short, in the circled area, the National Weather Service saying that these storms are going to continue to strengthen. And I want to show you this. I want to zoom on in here. There's kind of an interesting feature in northern Lee County. If you're kind of a weather guru, you recognize that that's what we would call an inflow notch in the storm, and that's kind of where the air is getting wrapped in, and that is sometimes what can kick off a little bit of circulation. So Dansbury and northern Lee County, Kokomo, Bledsoe along US 79. No tornado warning right now. But I'll tell you what, John, you can see right there where those reds and greens come together. What we're looking at now is the wind mode. Red is wind going in one way, green's going in another. There's a little bit of something trying to spin just to the south of Dansby and Lee County, Arkansas. Again, not enough to prompt a tornado warning right now, but as that continues to move off to the east, it's something we'll have to watch. And they're just going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15. I want to put a storm track on that little part that we're watching. Because it would mainly be moving off to the east-southeast at about 55 miles an hour. That would put it into Walls here in about 28 minutes, and then possibly into areas a little closer to South Haven and Horn Lake in the next 37 to 40 minutes. Let me get that from behind that box. Sorry, guys. You can see Olive Branch in the next 48 minutes or so, Coldwater 40 minutes. So the bottom line is that this storm is going to be moving into DeSoto County, northern Tunica County, Horseshoe Lake, the resorts. Heads up. Pretty tough storm coming toward you again right now. Just some hail and wind, but a tornado could easily spin back up, John.
No doubt about it, Trevor. Looking at that radar signature, you're right on it. That is indicative of possible tornado development. Not trying to scare you unnecessarily, but we are looking real time at the radar data. This is where Trevor was with the warning. And let me give you a perspective of where everybody is in Metro Memphis. Here's Millington, Germantown, Bartlett, University of Memphis right in here, downtown Memphis right here, Whitehaven, here's Collierville, Lakeland, and Arlington. But this storm is really what we're concerned about most, or who we are concerned about most with the bad weather is DeSoto County right now and Horseshoe Lake in East Arkansas. Tunica, you're close enough that you're not out of the woods here. Now, technically, you're not under the warning, but you are close enough. This is a severe thunderstorm warning now until 6:15 tonight, as you can see, for DeSoto County. Also, not just DeSoto County, it's the southern parts of Crittenden County as well, and even back near Marianna, also Lee County. So we are talking about this part of the storm, which is the worst, which could perhaps put down a tornado. Right now, it doesn't have it, thankfully. Well, let's keep it that way if we can. But we were looking at some of the velocity data just a minute ago, which is what I'm going to put on right now, and it was a little ominous. What we don't want to see is the reds and the greens together. We want as much spacing as possible. All right, here's Gassett right here in Arkansas. Bricky's, Cody, Sudan, Park Place. If there is a tornado developing, which there could be, it's going to be right in here. And that is moving to the east, southeast toward Peters. Trevor.
John, I want to get you another camera view. This is actually from pretty close to downtown Memphis. This is I-40 at Jackson. And you see those clouds off in the distance. This is my disclaimer to everybody watching in Memphis right now as what we call a scary looking cloud rolls through. That's that outflow boundary gust front that we were telling you about. It is not associated with the storm. It's several miles ahead of the storm. But what's going to happen is when that cloud moves over, the cloud that's coming over downtown and Raleigh and Fraser and Midtown right now, it looks really scary. You see it there. But there's nothing significant happening in Shelby County right now. We don't have any warnings, but this is just a precursor to what is going to come here in the next little bit. So we've got still about 30 minutes before this storm gets into Memphis and Shelby County, but that's that first leading edge of the storms rolling on through. And you can actually see it on radar clear as day. You don't have to be a meteorologist to see that line that's basically right across Shelby County from Millington down to Memphis. That's that outflow boundary as the wind kind of kicks up right behind it. You see the storm is still several miles behind that line. So that is just a little bit of an indication that the storm is on its way. But as John said, what can sometimes happen is when that line meets this storm that's coming in, there can be a little more energy that develops right in that area. So that's an area we're going to watch. Southern Crittenden County, southern Shelby County, DeSoto County. Sometimes that little gust of wind is just enough to get that storm spinning, or at least give it a little extra momentum. So that's your little science lesson for the day. That gust front coming through could add a little more energy to the storm. Sometimes it makes them fall apart. We'll just have to wait and see. But I would say with this one, we're going to have to watch to see if it doesn't intensify just a little bit. And again, we've still got some signs of weak rotation. No tornado warning right now, but certainly not out of the picture over the next several minutes, John.
Yeah, and you know, I'm getting some new information in on this tornado in Pulaski County, and I'm going to step off the screen just for a minute. Hold tight, guys. Keep it on this shot. But this tornado was near Gibson in Jacksonville, Arkansas, just southeast of Republican Road and Highway 107 near the Little Rock Air Force Base, and it did produce damage with downed trees, tree limbs, and damage from some small outbuildings, it says. The tornado then lifted just northeast of West Republican Road intersection, and it is an EF0. That is the fastest survey that I have ever seen from the National Weather Service. That is out of Little Rock. So it just goes to show that we do have and have had, not in our area, but just to the west, an actual tornado, but not in our area. But I say that to say that it's possible. Now, we certainly, I think as we get closer to about 6:30 or 7 o'clock, the threat is going to get better. And we can, so this is not going to go on all night. That's why we're saying just stay where you are, or at least, you know, wait till this line passes before you decide to do anything outside. I think most of the Friday night football games kick off around 7 o'clock. So, you know, they might be delayed, but it looks like they're going to get the games in the metro area. Now, not necessarily Holly Springs, Oxford, and Batesville. You guys, you know, if the game gets started, it may be delayed. I don't know exactly the protocol, but what I am saying is in the Memphis metro area, it looks like the football games, I don't make the calls. We don't make the calls, of course. But what I'm telling you is that the worst of the weather will probably be gone in an hour, and that would be at kickoff about 7 o'clock. But again, delays with people coming in and driving, we don't want that. Like I said, the most important thing is your safety and to make sure you are out of harm's way in your home and safe. Let me do this, guys in the booth, and we don't have to do it right now, but just something I'm thinking about as these storms roll into the metro is pull up the MLGW outage map. Because it'll be interesting to see. I'm hopeful we don't see many power outages. And by the way, sometimes the data is delayed and it takes a while to come in. But it would be interesting to see that outage map. All right, you got it? Let's take it. And we'll do it and show you the information. This is great. Green is good. That means not a lot of outages. But again, like I said, these numbers can go up. Sometimes it's delayed, but I like seeing all that green. Right now, anyway, that means there are not a lot of people without power. All right, back to the radar, and this is that outflow boundary Trevor and I have been talking about. Again, scary-looking clouds, but the highest winds are actually going to get to you before it starts raining. So that's what's going on here. The highest winds are right here. Our television station, which is near the Bartlett area, is probably just a few minutes away from getting the highest winds from this storm. Right here, as it continues to move east. The high wind in this situation, at least the view that I'm on, is actually going to come before the rain. But it is a sign that at least that part of the storm could be weakening, and that's good. But not to say that, you know, don't. I'm not saying go outside, everything's fine. Don't do that. There's still lightning and still the risk of some gusty winds, and even in an average thunderstorm, you don't want to be outside. And really, it just makes sense to wait because it's going to be gone within an hour or so. Our greatest concern now is DeSoto County, as this line, Trevor, it's right on the Mississippi River, as you've been talking about this, and It is about to enter DeSoto County. And John, the high winds are about to enter DeSoto County as well.
Yeah, and that area you've got circled right there, I'll circle it on mine too, just so you can get a little bit of an idea. that is an area that the Weather Service is currently watching for increasing rotation. That's typically a precursor to say they might be putting a tornado warning out shortly for these areas. So what I was just telling you, the increasing ingredients, if you will, as we go into Mississippi, there's more oomph for the storms to work with. As this storm crosses over into DeSoto County, this thing could try to spin something up. So I don't want to alarm you there, but I want to give you as early of a heads up as possible to let you know that the Weather Service is watching it, we're watching it, and that's one of the biggest reasons that we've decided to stay with you, even though there's no tornado warning technically in effect. It's because there's still a threat with these storms here. And again, that's moving off to the east. And I'm going to just kind of zoom in here and give you a little bit of an idea. I'll get this storm track off of here. That area there, what John just told you, reds and greens together, is not ideal. So Council, Bledsoe, Midway, that's about where this is right now. And it's about to be into the Horseshoe Lake area near the DeSoto and Tunica County line. So heads up DeSoto County, heads up northern Tunica County. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, but that rotation could be trying to intensify just a little bit, and that could lead to a brief tornado within the next couple of minutes. So something we're going to be watching very carefully. Obviously, we hope it stays just how it is, but it's a possibility we want to let you know about.
Yeah, and you know, I think our greatest tornado threat, like you said, is pretty much now and over the next hour or so in DeSoto County and North Mississippi. I should also, for our folks in production, of course, we're normally coming up on ABC 24 News at 6 o'clock. We'll be going at least through 6:15 with weather coverage because we have an active warning in DeSoto County right now, and the Weather Service is talking about
John, we've got a tornado warning now.
All right, so tornado warning just issued from the National Weather Service. It's for this same storm, and DeSoto County, you need to go to your safe spot now. Specifically, we are talking, well, anywhere. There it is. There's a tornado warning right now. You have to go to your safe spot, Horseshoe Lake. I mean, you've got to get, yes, let's go back live on CW30 as well and take this coverage. We have a tornado warning for DeSoto County, Mississippi. It's an area that Trevor and I have been watching all afternoon and really in the last 15 minutes. And I'm going to put a track on this for you just so you can know exactly who is in the power. All right, we are on CW30, so I do want to welcome our CW30 viewers and tell you why we are back on the air.
And John, I'm going to interrupt you. We've got a funnel cloud being reported by spotter William Frog, who's a pretty well-known storm spotter. He's kind of knows what he's talking about. So that's something that we're going to have to watch. Again,
Where
we told
is
you.
that? Where is that?
That is 1 mile southeast of Highway 79 in Bricky's, Arkansas. So that is right where we've been talking about, where that rotation was developing with that little hook in the storm.
Okay, excellent information to know, and we're going to continue to get all the information that we can. Right now, I need to tell you this. If I call out your town, you need to go to your safe spot away from windows. Please don't try to go outside and find the tornado. We already have history of a tornado that touched down in Pulaski County, Arkansas. So it's the same system, not the same tornado, but the same system, and you need to go to your safe spot. Trevor, maybe we can get ready here in a second to pull up those tips, but Horseshoe Lake at 6:02, basically 4 minutes. You guys got to go now. 6:11 in Walls, Horn Lake 6:20, the Lander Center at 6:23, Hernando 6:27, so we're giving you some lead time. Also Pleasant Hill at 6:31 and Byhalia at 6:46, folks. Tornado warning, Trevor mentioned, funnel cloud has been sighted. Unfortunately, I think our spotters are north up in West Tennessee, so unless they have made it further south, and I'll check in a minute, but I don't think they have. This is a tornado warning, and these towns are in the path, and you need to go to your safe spot now, away from windows. If you live in an apartment complex, say in Walls, Mississippi, go to the lowest level and make sure you're away from windows. Don't go outside and try to find the tornado. And if you are in a mobile home and you're in eastern DeSoto County, get to a sturdy structure now. This storm is moving quickly. It is moving across the Mississippi River. If you're in Olive Branch, you still could be in the path of this. But right now, an active tornado warning for DeSoto County. Right now, and all these towns that are in the path of this warning right now have the possibility of a tornado. There you can see it right now. If you're just joining us, an active tornado warning for Tunica County, DeSoto County. And by the way, when I say Tunica, I mean the extreme northern part. It looks like the casinos, the worst of it, may stay to your north. Just to let you know that. Things can still change, but right in here is where there could be a tornado. There are the casinos right there. Here's DeSoto County. Here's Horseshoe Lake in Arkansas. There's Walls. All in the path of this potential tornado. As a matter of fact, we can check our products, our velocity products, just to see what's going on here. There we go. And what we don't want to see, like Trevor was talking about just a minute ago, is these red and green colors uptight together. That is what we're trying to avoid. Right now, the gray color, by the way, is good. We don't want to see these colors, these red and greens, get too close together. That means the rotation is tightening up. That means that there could be a tornado, and so we want to see more gray or separation. Like to see separation in there, but if there is a tornado, that is where it would be, maybe actually out ahead of it, just now east of the Mississippi River. Here is your live updated track that is refreshing automatically for you. And if you're just joining us, a tornado warning is active for DeSoto County and extreme northern Tunica counties. It does look like, at the moment anyway, this potential tornado would remain north of the casinos, which are right here. And the tornado is right here, if there is one. And Trevor mentioned it, a funnel cloud has been sighted. It's trying to produce a tornado. Will it? I hope not, but we have to assume that there is one on the ground right now. This is radar indicated, although it's not just radar indicated. A report of a funnel has come in, and so we know that it is at least trying to put down a tornado. As far as Shelby County goes right now, which is just to the north of here, looking better as far as the tornado threat goes. This is mainly for our North Mississippi counties. Here's Shelby County right now, West Memphis, Bartlett, Whitehaven. What's happening here, this cooler air is outrushing these storms and making this worse. We talked about it just a minute ago about that outflow boundary colliding with this southern storm, and now we have perhaps a tornado. So DeSoto County, Tunica County, northern Tunica County, go to your safe spot. Now, Trevor, maybe you can tell us about those safe spots and what to do. Here they are, your tornado safety tips. Take action now. Go to the inside of your home, an interior room on the lowest level away from windows. Have your shoes on, cover your head. I can't tell you enough, that is key. Cover your head. If you have a helmet, if you have a mattress, go to your safe place and do that. Stay away from windows. Please don't try to go find the tornado. That is dangerous. If you definitely don't want to be driving in this. And so if you're in these tornado warned areas, call your kids, family, friends, let them know what's going on, and find shelter and stay away from windows. Please don't go outside. If you're in an apartment complex, go down to a lower level, and because obviously not everybody's living in houses. So apartment complexes, we've seen it before around here, can be dangerous if you're on the upper levels. It is safe to get down to the lower levels and the absolute lowest levels of any structure and to cover your head. Those are the action calls we're telling you to do right now. And here are the tornado safety tips. Seek shelter in the middle of your house if you can. If you're in an apartment complex, go downstairs. First floor, we want you on the lowest floor, in interior room away from windows, say under a stairwell. Some people have storm shelters, most do not. Most do not have basements. Those are the best places, but most people don't have those two. But just stay away from windows, center of your home, first floor. We're going to get you through this, and we're going to keep you safe. That is our number one job here at ABC 24 is to keep you safe. And our CW30 viewers right now as well, we're on the air because of a tornado warning that is active until 6:30 for not just Tunica County, but also DeSoto County, Horseshoe Lake right in the path. And Trevor, it looks like if there is a tornado, it would be crossing or have crossed the Mississippi River right now, because this thing is starting to speed up a little bit. So it's probably just east now of the Mississippi River, moving into DeSoto County right now.
Yeah, and John, I just want to do a little bit of a who's in and who's out. We've got a lot of folks that watch down in DeSoto County. My family, I'm sure, is watching from South Haven intently as those sirens sound and the alerts go off on your phone. I want to let you know this does not include the city of South Haven. This does not include Horn Lake, does not include Olive Branch, does not include Walls, and does not at the moment include Hernando. Let's talk about who this does include. Horseshoe Lake, it's going to cross just to the south of that. The extreme northern portion of Tunica County, communities like Banks and Green River. This also includes areas to the south of Walls, down near Lake Cormorant, Eudora, Mississippi, and that's really just about it. This includes the very western sliver of DeSoto County, so it is going to end before it gets to Horn Lake. Now, places like Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, you're still going to get some gusty winds, large hail, heavy rain. But right now, the tornado threat, again, as John said, looks to be crossing the Mississippi River near Commerce Landing, and that's moving to the southeast at anywhere from 50 to 55 miles an hour. So I want to put a storm track on that. Now, if it does hold together, this would come into Hernando in about 30 minutes, if not before that. But again, right now, this does not include Hernando. Here's some of the more communities that are included. Robinsonville, Mississippi, in about 4 minutes. Banks, Mississippi, in 9 minutes. Eudora in 14 minutes. And the Pleasant Hill community in the central portion of DeSoto County by about 18 minutes. And then again, if it holds together, it could be near Nesbitt in about 22 minutes. That, of course, right off Highway 51. So the tornado warning doesn't go out that far right now, but I just want to give you an early heads up to the areas that could eventually be impacted. But John, confirmed reports a funnel cloud. Don't know for sure if it's on the ground, but pretty good signs of rotation crossing the Mississippi River near Commerce Landing.
Yeah, and especially concerning, considering the fact that we have a confirmed tornado that touched down in Pulaski County, Arkansas. This is the same system that is now moving into DeSoto County and extreme northern Tunica County. Again, if you're in Walls, Horn Lake, Lander Center, Hernando, Pleasant Hill, Byhalia, you got to go to your safe spots now. As Trevor mentioned, South Haven is just north, or excuse me, just south of South Haven. So that's an important point to make, because so many of our viewers, or a lot of our viewers in South Haven watch. And so it is important to tell you who is under the threat. I will say this, Shelby County, not out of the woods, but looking better. It is really DeSoto County and northern Tunica County that we are most concerned with right now. As a matter of fact, Horseshoe Lake, we've been talking about you for a lot, because that is where the storm has been, near the Horseshoe Lake area. And now it is crossing the Mississippi River as we speak, and now into DeSoto County. Here's your track at the bottom of the screen right here. And we're giving you lead time, but now the storm is in DeSoto County and northern Tunica County. It is time to take action so you can stay safe, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're telling you what to do so we can get you through this, and we will get you through this. Just got to do the right things, and hey, look, the threat is not going to go on for a long time. I should tell you, though, for the rest of our friends in North Mississippi, a new watch has been issued. I believe it's a thunderstorm watch, and that's going to go up until, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock tonight. Well, I'll get you that graphically in a minute. We're more concerned about right here of a possible tornado that is south of Horseshoe Lake and headed toward these towns right here, Horn Lake, Lander Center, Hernando at 627. My parents live in Olive Branch. So it looks like the Olive Branch community is going to be north of this storm unless it changes directions, and that can happen. Don't go to sleep on us now if you're in South Haven or Olive Branch. Don't go to sleep on us. This storm is not passed yet. Things can change, but it looks like the cooler air from the storms to the north in Shelby County that cooler air has actually undercut the storms further north and basically weakened them. But what happened when that happened is it made this storm stronger that is moving into DeSoto County. So we've got a lot of things going on in the atmosphere this afternoon, and by no means are we out of the woods. We have an active tornado warning right now. You can see it until 6:30. By the way, this is not just Tunica County. It is for DeSoto County as well. Let's go back to Trevor, and I'm going to check in with the Weather Service and see if we've got any reports. Trevor, what are you seeing over there?
John, I wanted to get you that watch graphic we were talking about. We can go ahead and take this full, guys. They've extended, I should say, that severe thunderstorm watch. No tornado watch right now, but a severe thunderstorm watch now in effect for all of North Mississippi, all of West Tennessee. And let's get a little bit of an idea of how long that is going to go for. That's going to go until midnight tonight. So for us here in the metro area, that's severe thunderstorm watch until 8 p.m. Everybody else until midnight as these storms continue to roll through. I do think they'll be out of here before midnight. I think by 9 p.m., honestly, a lot of us are looking okay. A report from the National Weather Service does say from emergency managers, Mississippi County Emergency Management did not find any damage in Osceola. We mentioned to you earlier, we had that tornado warning up in Mississippi County. That has since expired and it's long gone, but there was a pretty good signature of some rotation near Osceola. Good news is emergency management reporting no signs of damage up there. So certainly some good news, but of course now our attention focuses to that tornado warning that is going to be in effect for northern Tunica, western DeSoto, portions of Crittenden, St. Francis and Lee counties until 6:30. It looks like right now that's in northern Tunica County, just about ready to cross into DeSoto County. Again, I want to let you know, does not include South Haven or Olive Branch. This is for extreme western portions of DeSoto County. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We had a report of a funnel cloud, but nothing more than that. Still some pretty serious signs of rotation, though, John.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I put a new storm track on here for you so you can see exactly what we're tracking. And as Trevor mentioned, South Haven, this is going to stay south of you. Olive Branch, unless it changes directions, it looks like it's going to stay south of you as well. Here are the areas where we're most concerned about right now. Walls at 6:14, 2 minutes from right now. You guys that I call your town out have to go to your safe spot immediately. Horn Lake at 6:22, the Lander Center at 6:25, South Haven. We talked about you, but you're really the tornado risk is south of you, South Haven. But the storm is going to be coming through. But the tornado threat, there you see Pleasant Hill at 6:32. Also Hernando. You're not in the warning right now. I'm just showing you a path of if it continues. We don't know if they're going to extend this warning past 6:15 or not. So but if they do, 6:30, if they do, you are in the path. So by no means are we out of the woods yet. Things are looking better in Shelby County, but not for our friends in DeSoto County and extreme northern Tunica County. I should also point out again that the casinos are right here, so it's getting close to the casinos, but I was just a moment ago also looking at the velocity products, and right now, let me zoom in. What we don't want to see and what we've been talking about is red and greens together. Not seeing a ton of that right now. That's good. Keep in mind, though, a funnel cloud was spotted, so this can change at any point. But look, you see this green right here? You see this red right here? There is a little bit of spacing in here right there. That is good. We don't want to see them bright, and we don't want to see them together, but no doubt about it, there is still broad circulation going on, even as we go down south of Horseshoe Lake. But that is something we look at, and I know it's hard to understand on television from the naked eye, but that is kind of our real-time analysis way of saying, all right, what's a storm doing right
John,
now? Yeah, go ahead.
They have canceled that tornado warning that was in effect there for DeSoto County, Tunica County, all of those counties down there. That tornado warning has been canceled. So good news, you know, there was some signs that it could have been weakening just a little bit. We can't really find a significant rotation center anymore. So that tornado warning has been allowed to expire, but I'll tell you what, that storm is still packing a punch as it moves off to the south and east. Walls, Hernando, South Haven, you're going to get some damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, maybe a little bit of small hail as well. But as of right now, all tornado warnings have been canceled for the ABC 24 viewing area.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to normal programming on our CW30 station, but we're going to stay with you at least through 6:30 here on ABC. Even though there is not an active tornado warning anymore, hey, look, there were no active warnings. And what's that? Say again? Okay, all right, we're off of CW30. But look, this is why we have not gone off the air, because there was a window where we didn't have warnings for about 5 minutes, and we stayed on the air because the threat was not passed, and that is why we're staying on the air. Here is a big picture of what is going on this Friday afternoon in the middle of October, where we have had a confirmed tornado in Pulaski County, Arkansas, that did damage, and a funnel cloud sighted in our area in it was DeSoto County, correct, Trevor? You had that reported. Just making sure.
The funnel cloud was in Lee County just before it crossed the river.
Lee County,
yeah,
that's why I
just
asked.
Before it crossed.
So just before it crossed the river, that would have been right in here. So a funnel cloud has been spotted, or was spotted, and a confirmed tornado in Pulaski County. That's why we have to take this seriously. There is a warning here, a new severe thunderstorm warning that we can zoom into right here. And we've seen these thunderstorm warnings go to tornado warnings today twice now. So we got to watch the Alamo area, the Bells area, the Brownsville area, as there's an active thunderstorm warning. But coming back into Shelby County and DeSoto County right now, things in Shelby County are looking better. I think the worst of the winds, actually, to be honest with you, are about to come through Germantown and Collierville and those areas in southeast Shelby County. As far as Shelby County is concerned, right now, that is where the highest winds are going to be, actually out ahead of the cluster of storms coming through. A lot going on right now, folks, and really, if we can get to 7:30, I think for the metro area, we're going to be okay. But our attention will then shift to North Mississippi because they have issued a new thunderstorm watch. And as we have seen today, you can have tornado warnings in a severe thunderstorm watch. It means that conditions are ripe for severe weather. And some of the times they don't issue a tornado watch is because very isolated, quick, brief spin-up tornadoes can occur in severe thunderstorm watches. So my point in all of this is to say that high winds are the primary threat. Hail is also a threat, but until the line crosses where you live, there's still a threat of weather. Now, what I love to do is tell people when they're in the clear. That is one of my favorite things to do during severe weather. So let's do that. I can tell you, if you are in Mississippi County, Arkansas, it looks like you are in the clear right now. Also going back down south, it looks like Poinsett County, you're in the clear. Cross County, Arkansas, you're in the clear. The weather is going to be turning cooler in these areas, but you guys appear to be out of the woods now. So I always like telling people when the threat is over. It also appears that St. Francis County, you are almost out of the woods, not completely, but getting close. And still in Shelby County right now, especially southern Shelby County and DeSoto County, where we have really been focused in on this afternoon, threat by no means over. Looking better? Yes. But by no means over. And we are, as we get closer to sunset, which is quickly approaching, that will mean less energy. But not yet. Just hang on a little bit longer and let the storm pass. Let it stop raining completely if you can. We'll continue to be on ABC for at least another 10 minutes, and then we'll reassess the situation. Just a production heads up, guys in the booth. We'll reassess it here in a few minutes and decide what to do. But for right now, we're going to stay on air until the threat has passed. And again, there is another warning up here that we have to watch carefully because really our northern counties, as we're closer to the actual center of the low pressure area, which sometimes if you're closer to that low, you can have a higher risk of a tornado. So we're not forgetting about you. And you're not out of the woods, Humboldt and Jackson. You're actually under a severe thunderstorm warning. Things are getting better in Ripley as far as wind goes, but still a lot of rain. But the high wind threat is diminishing in Ripley and Covington. This is Highway 51 right here. And we've probably got some gusty winds about to head to the television station right now. But DeSoto County and the area under this warning right here, Brownsville and Jackson, that's where the worst of the weather is right now. But as we get closer to sunset, which we're extremely close, conditions may improve a little bit, but not completely over in North Mississippi. That is going to be, as it usually is, it always seems to be that way, the final areas where the severe threat will be. And that is probably going to be for another 2 to 3 hours for our friends in North Mississippi, Holly Springs, Batesville, Oxford, Clarksdale. The line has not passed you yet. You're not out of the woods. And Corinth, you're going to be the last. Alcorn County, McNairy County, but I'm hopeful in about 2 to 3 hours, the threat will have diminished a great deal. You are under a thunderstorm watch, so that means conditions are still favorable. Until the red colors pass your area, you're not out of the woods. But we are seeing things improving in Arkansas, specifically northeast Arkansas, but still some heavy action going on near Memphis International Airport. That is another thing to point out, is that if you have flights in or out of Memphis tonight, or you have people coming in, it is going to be affected by weather. Hopefully these will start to pick up a little bit. Is that a, no, okay, good. Yes, all right.
Yeah,
so
I was going to let you know we've got that, they've reissued that severe thunderstorm warning for that storm moving through DeSoto, Tunica, Tate counties right now. No tornado warning. That is the good news. That's what we like to see. We don't want to see a red box. We want to see the orange boxes. It's still not great, but it's better than a tornado threat. So damaging winds, hail, still a concern with this. And I would venture to say that we likely have a little bit of hail near Highway 61, where I-69 splits off right at that junction where you can go toward the resorts or go down toward the Delta. There's likely a little bit of hail coming through there north of Banks, and that's probably going to follow I-69 right over to the Nesbitt area. So Nesbitt heads up, hail for you. And then eventually this will be toward Lewisburg. I still think the worst of this storm stays to the south of Horn Lake, south of South Haven. It's going to rain. It's going to be windy, but I think the biggest concern in terms of possibly destructive wind and hail is going to be to your south. I want to put a track on this and just give you an idea of kind of where this storm is going over the next couple of minutes. Again, Horn Lake by about 6:29, South Haven by 6:30. Hernando by 6:34, and you can see some of these other smaller communities here. Days by 6:27, Kelly Crossing by about 6:28. So just a heads up for you in DeSoto County, possible power outages, maybe a little small hail and some damaging wind gusts. But as of right now, we do not have a tornado warning in effect anywhere in the area, but I did want to let you know that that new severe thunderstorm warning is issued. And of course, we're still working that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for portions of Haywood and Crockett counties. That storm now to the east of Brownsville. So Brownsville, you're in the clear from this storm, and it's now crossing into Jackson and Madison counties. So that is beginning to exit our area. So a little bit of good news. Heavy rain in other portions of the area, but as of right now, only 2 storms that we're dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings with, which is for hail and wind. That's for DeSoto County, and right now exiting Haywood County into Crockett County, John.
All right, and the good news here is that that funnel cloud, that report of a funnel cloud in Lee County, Arkansas, that was just after 6 o'clock, at 6:03, and we have not had any more reports of funnel clouds or anything like that. So that is good news. The longer we can go without any reports or any radar signatures of tornado, the better off we're going to be. And this warning here, it looks like the line may have slowed down a little bit. This warning here is going to go until 7 o'clock tonight. Now, they may cancel areas in the western part of the warning in western DeSoto County early, but heads up to our production crew in the booth, our producers, directors, everybody, audio, all involved. By the way, thank you today for doing an excellent job for us and for our viewers in providing this coverage to keep people safe. This warning here in DeSoto County is going to go until 7 o'clock. So we're going to stay on here until 7 o'clock because this is a highly populated area and because this is an area where some of these cells had a funnel cloud reported right after 6 o'clock. So we are going to take this seriously, affecting highly populated areas of Memphis, Metro Memphis right now. But South Haven, the worst of it is south of you. That is very important to point out. Also, Shelby County, it looks like the worst of the wind is now in southeast Shelby County, and hopefully there won't be that much wind. I think the worst of the wind in Shelby County is in this triangle that I have just drawn, or about to be anyway, and behind that, it's heavy rain. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't want to be driving in that. It's a mess out there. It's near rush hour as we, on a Friday afternoon, start to get closer to 7 o'clock. There's still heavy rain and there still could be some gusty winds, but the highest winds in Shelby County are going to be in this triangle that I have drawn, and thankfully they're not high enough to warrant, at least at the moment, a warning, but still gusty winds perhaps over 40 miles per hour. And this area that we're focusing in on in DeSoto County, just west of Hernando. This is where the warning is, just south of South Haven. Hernando, you're right in the path. Again, gusty winds. Can't rule out a tornado, but I really believe the closer we get and the longer we go without any more reports, without any more nasty radar signatures, the better off we're going to be. I really think that. We're not out of the woods yet, but hopefully things are slowly starting to improve. High winds definitely headed your way, but just hang in there. Don't rush outside. By 7 o'clock, the worst of the weather should be out of the metro area. So that is some good news right now, but the problem is North Mississippi, areas east of here, the threat will go on longer. Trevor?
Yeah, speaking of high winds down in DeSoto County, I want to get you a view from Horn Lake right now. Let's take this full. This is looking like some really gusty wind. This is at Goodman Road and Highway 301 in the western portion of Horn Lake, getting close to Walls. Very strong winds. You see it blowing across the road there. It looks like power's staying on, but folks are out driving in this. So if you've got to be out right now in DeSoto County, even into southern Shelby County, especially the closer you get to Hernando, you've got to give yourself a little bit of extra time. Let's take this full for just a couple of seconds here, because whenever the cars pass by, you can see just how fast the wind is blowing across the screen. I would estimate gusts there maybe 30 to 40 miles an hour, and of course could be a little higher in some spots, but that's going to be hard to hang on to. You can see there in front of those cars' headlights exactly how fast that wind is blowing. So definitely a little bit of a punch of a storm there. And again, that's at 301 and 302 in Horn Lake. So near the Lynchburg and Holly Hills area, that storm just beginning to roll in there. And that's what's going to be into South Haven and Horn Lake in the next little bit. And as I mentioned, south of there, down to Hernando, that's where even the stronger part of the storm is. So again, just to remind you, no threat of a tornado with this as of right now, but still very, very strong winds, very heavy rain, something you don't want to be out in. Horn Lake, you've got about 2 minutes, 3 minutes before the heaviest of the rain and wind hits you. South Haven, just a little bit longer than that. Hernando, 6:36, Olive Branch, 6:43. And then we're getting some heavier rain down into downtown Memphis as well right now. So I want to see if we can maybe really quick pull up a camera from somewhere in downtown. You're taking a look at our traffic map here, and I'm just going to kind of zoom around a little bit and see if we can poke around and see what's going on. So this is I-40 at Riverside. It sure is windy, it sure is rainy, but again, no severe weather right now in the immediate Memphis area. Here's I-55 and Mallory, and this is, of course, right near the Valero refinery. You see a little bit of thunder. I guess you see a little lightning. You're hearing a little bit of the thunder. Folks are driving with their hazard lights on. I want to remind you, if you're driving with your hazard lights on, you probably should not be driving. People do that because they can't see, which means you shouldn't be on the road. So give it 30 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, and then you can get back on the road. But if you are driving and you cannot see the road, so much so that you turn on your hazard lights to drive, I would recommend just waiting, especially now that we're getting into rush hour.
Yeah, and excellent point. Yeah, that's why we tell you it's just not worth it if you don't have to just, ride out the storm and let it pass. But I was just looking at some of the data from the Storm Prediction Center, and there is still a risk of a tornado in North Mississippi in areas where the storms have not come yet. And that's why they extended the watch into basically all of our counties in North Mississippi. And so we're not done with the tornado threat where the storms have not come through. So I just want to let you know that some of the parameters are still there. We will get new information right about 7 o'clock on updates on what the atmosphere is doing. We'll get new data in and we'll have a better idea. But over the next half hour, still a chance. Yeah, let's take that. Let's take that camera right now. Yeah, this is at the bridge. Right now, look at this, downtown Memphis. I mean, sheets of rain. It is coming down. Traffic flowing slowly. That's good. Steadily. As Trevor said, if you've got your hazards on, you probably should be off the roads. But it's just something to consider for future reference. I hate driving in this stuff. So don't if you don't have to. It's going to pass. Although this line, unfortunately, I think it's slowed down a little bit because they have the line moving now at about 35 miles per hour. Earlier, some of these storms were racing at about 50 miles per hour. We want it to go ahead and get through here, obviously, so conditions can improve and we can say you're out of the woods. But if you are living west of the Mississippi River, if you do live west of the Mississippi River, things have improved for you dramatically. And hopefully nothing else will come, and it doesn't look like it will for at least a while, over a week. But Hernando, we're really now focused on you. Here's I-55 south of South Haven. Don't get me wrong, the weather's not great in South Haven, but the worst of it is just south of you. We're now hearing heavy rain here at our television station. We're near Bartlett, and so it's coming through here. And also Tunica, it looks like the weather may be improving for you. Always like to tell people where the weather is getting better. So maybe the worst of it is just now passing to your east, but we've still got a lot of real estate in West Tennessee and North Mississippi where this line hasn't even passed yet, and the tornado threat still exists. This time of year, when you have winds that are this fast, and you've got these summer-like humidity out there this afternoon. In mid-October, that is never a good thing. And so that's why we're staying with you and making sure that everybody is safe and there's not a quick spin-up tornado, because that can occur in a situation like this as well. So far, the good news is I'm not seeing a lot of damage reports in metropolitan Memphis. We had the report of the funnel cloud right after 6 o'clock in Lee County, Arkansas. Hey, what about the power outage map? Let's check that again. Hernando, we're watching you carefully and closely. Going to zoom down into you in just a minute. If you guys can get that power outage map up, that'd be great. Okay, I don't think there will be a lot of power outages. There's not in Metro Memphis right now. That is good. So maybe the rain is still going on, but maybe the worst of the winds have passed. All right. Just wanted to get that look there. Right back to Hernando and I-55 and the heavy winds crossing I-55 now as we speak. Winds possibly up to 60 miles per hour and the tornado threat not over. But Trevor, thankfully, no warning right now. No tornado warnings. That is the good news.
Yeah, it is. It's still coming down, though, and that's what I want you to get wrong. A lot of folks think we don't have a tornado warning. The weather's fine. Let's go out. Let's take this view full. You can get a view. This is I-55 at Brooks, right where you get off at Elvis Presley to go toward Graceland. This is going up toward Malfunction Junction. This has actually eased up just a little bit compared to what it was just a couple of minutes ago. But again, folks still driving with their hazard lights on. And if you're driving out there, you cannot see the road, it's not worth risking your safety to try to rush home. I'd rather you get home safe and in one piece and with your car okay than to try to rush home. Stop for 10, 15, 20 minutes and let the worst of the storm pass by. and then you can make it home and enjoy dinner with your family safely and in one piece. Again, here's a view of that storm. It's coming through Midtown Memphis right now, downtown, much of DeSoto County through South Haven. It's right on top of you right now. It's crossing over I-55 in DeSoto County. Eudora, down toward the lake in southern DeSoto County, Arcabutla, it's coming a flood. And I'd venture to say some of the heaviest rain now in the Memphis area is over near Lenox. That's going to be, let's see, that looks like coming up on East Parkway, maybe about East Parkway and Poplar in Midtown. So it's coming down. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a little bit of hail somewhere mixed in that. Our hail product isn't picking up on it, but it's still a possibility. It is picking up on a little bit of hail down in DeSoto and Tunica counties. So just know that there could be some hail out there. There's likely some very strong wind as this continues to move off to the east. And I want to put one more storm track on this just to keep you appraised of what direction this is going and when it's going to be there. Hernando by about 6:39, Olive Branch 6:44, Germantown 6:45, Collierville 6:54. So John, you mentioned earlier those football games typically kick off around 7 p.m. So I'm sure the Dragons are playing tonight over in Collierville. If not, they're playing an away game somewhere. But there are lots of folks playing football tonight, and it is going to be a soaker. And of course, there's lightning. A lot of football teams, they'll play if it's raining. They cannot play if there's lightning. And we've got several strikes of lightning right now. And then they've got to wait 30 minutes after the last lightning strike to resume play. So it's going to be a while before those football games kick off, but hopefully not too much of a delay if this storm can just go ahead and get out of here. It's already through Walls. It's already through Horn Lake. And it's going to continue to move off to the east from there. I don't want to forget about you up in Haywood County and Brownsville. The worst of that storm now into Madison County, coming into Jackson. But they did clip the extreme northern portion of Hardeman County with a severe thunderstorm warning. Wanted to let you know that it looks like most of that is going to pass to your north and be an issue for Madison County. But you see those severe thunderstorm warnings for Haywood, Crockett, Madison, Chester County, Haywood County, and that's going to go for the next several minutes with that storm moving into Jackson. Other than that, several other heavier downpours down in the Delta in North Mississippi. But as of right now, no tornado concerns, just some very heavy rain and extremely gusty winds.
Yeah, and you know, here's another good piece of information to pass along to you. We haven't had any reports of damage or hail or anything, official reports anyway, since that funnel cloud in Lee County, Arkansas, and that was at 6:03. So we're talking over a half an hour now just to give you some good news, but sometimes reports come in late. But at least we haven't had any new reports. Now, I've got a new track on this storm for you, the Warren storm, Snowden Grove, 6:38, Olive Branch at 6:48. Again, we're talking about severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings. We're not done with that threat yet, but I really believe as we continue to go later into the evening, the tornado threat is going to go down. Not out of the woods, but go down. And heavy rain in Metro Memphis right now, that is going to be improving also in the not too distant future. So yes, those games may be delayed, but it does look like it's going to move out and the weather will get better. So just hang in there a little bit longer. Here's the latest track on where the worst storm is right now. This line actually curls all the way down to Clarksdale, and it's still on the Mississippi River. It's not to you guys yet. So I want you to know if you're in our southern counties, you're not out of the woods. And also, North Mississippi, any of these areas where it's not raining, you guys still have the threat for severe weather tonight. And that's why you're under a severe thunderstorm watch. So you guys are not out of the woods yet. But I would say within a half hour to an hour at the longest, we'll really start to have some of these threats go down. I should also mention, if no more warnings are issued, we are going to go back on regular programming at 7 o'clock because it looks like things will be getting better. But with a funnel cloud sighted just over 30 minutes ago, and with a confirmed tornado that did damage in Pulaski County earlier today, we're just not ready to give you the all clear yet. a couple of times. Maybe we thought that was happening, but no, things change quickly, and your safety is our most important thing. And until things look safe, we're gonna be here. So, guys, 7 o'clock. Is right now when we're scheduled to go back to programming. We may do so a little bit earlier if the threat comes down, but right now, not ready to do that with an active warning and with a tornado that's already touched down in central Arkansas and a funnel cloud sighted just over 30 minutes ago, so the threat is not over yet. I would say within 20 to 25 minutes, the tornado threat will really be shifting east of the Memphis metro area and then into West Tennessee and North Mississippi. And for you guys where it hasn't rained yet, I promise you, I'll be in the Weather Center right here. Trevor has had an incredibly long day. I'm going to try to get him home and get some sleep. We've been watching severe weather for hours now, but we will be here. We will be here to make sure you're safe, North Mississippi and West Tennessee, where it has not rained yet. And if there is a tornado warning, obviously, we'll be back on the air. Also, I should note that we're going to be completely clear. You know what? Can we put up a 7-day?
Yeah.
We've been on the air since before 5 o'clock and have not had a chance to give you a picture of the 7 days. So we'll do that in a minute. We're still dealing with a lot of active weather across the area. And okay, we'll go ahead and take that then. Just to give you the forecast, I mean, check it out. The strong storms today, but look at this beauty. Look at the weekend. Smooth sailing after that, folks. Highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s and 50s. A lot better picture after tonight. No weather worries whatsoever, unless you're cold-natured and you're not wearing a jacket this weekend. You do have something to worry about in the morning and at night. Regardless, so I wanted to show you that. Let's go back to the radar now, where we have the active weather. And let's see, did they cancel that warning?
They actually did. They let the warning go for DeSoto and Tate. So they're seeing the same thing you were talking about, John, that weakening trend of, indicating that we're still having heavy rain. We're hearing thunder at the station off I-40 and Sycamore View right now. It's still going to be a little bit of a gully washer, but it's definitely not as bad as it was just even a few minutes ago. So certainly some promising news there. Hopefully that continues to be the trend. It looks like it will continue to be the trend, so we will definitely not complain about that. I want to get over to this system here, and I can show you where some of the heaviest rain is falling. DeSoto County, Hernando, Tate County, you're still getting a lot of the heavy rain right now, but it's not severe. We're not concerned about it right now. There's some lightning down there. The only severe warning we have is technically for the northern portion of Hardeman County, portions of Haywood County, and an extreme sliver of Crockett County. But a lot of that has actually moved out of the area. So even though the warning is still in place, the storm has moved out. So I would say within the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will be clear of warnings, and hopefully it will stay that way. It's still going to be rainy. It's still going to be windy. I will tell you, if it's rained where you are and it's moved out, you're done for the night. And you're really done for the next 7 days, 8 days. The weather's going to be great, as John just showed you. So places like downtown Memphis, you're clear. Horn Lake, clear. Tunica, clear. All of eastern Arkansas is now clear from any rain, any thunder, any severe weather. It's done. Dyersburg, you're good. Ripley, Tipton County, Lauderdale County, Millington, it's all to your east. So we're going to slowly keep chipping away at this. And hopefully within the next hour or two, we can give an all clear to the rest of West Tennessee and North Mississippi.
And I think what we're going to do here is wrap up our coverage, because things are improving. We are seeing a weakening trend with the storms in the metro area. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here in the Weather Center all night long to make sure you guys in North Mississippi and West Tennessee, where it has not rained, are safe. And check us out. Download our app, ABC24, where you can always get notifications. And in case you're out and about and you don't know, there it is right there. Get it on the App Store, Google Play. It's free. Download it today, ABC24. Guys, I think it's time to wrap up our coverage because I think things are getting better. So for meteorologist Trevor Burchett, who has worked a long day and night, we're going to wrap up our coverage, be here. But for right now, we're going to take you back to regular programming.